All right, I am here with Heather, Blair, and Courtney at the Drive Change Conference in Las Vegas. How's it going, everybody?
Good. It's going fantastic.
Doing great.
If you could go back in time and find a young Heather, give her a piece of advice, what would that advice be?
To network. Start early. Network, network, network.
Hiring HR talent that actually is about the people who love connecting genuinely in real life with people. That is the #1 thing. You can teach anything else, but you can't teach that.
Being able to pivot, right? And so that's one thing that I've noticed that has kind of set people apart is like you can have all these networking connections, but can you pivot? Can you adapt?
Just dare to be different. The sky is just the stepping stone. There are greater heights. So I advise my younger self and the younger ones to just dream and step out there. Make your mistakes and learn from it and forge ahead. Just do it. If nobody else is doing it, do it.
If I had to go back in time, I'll say believing it, being yourself, because you can do it.
If you can go back in time and find a young Nikki and give her some advice, what piece of advice do you wish you had earlier in your career?
Don't take things so personally.
If I had anything to say to my younger self, it will be just do it.
Just keep pushing, keep learning, because if you're not learning, you're failing.
Speak up for yourself.
Talk to everybody.
Just to be proactive.
I would tell myself that it's all going to be okay and that there's always an infinite capacity to learn and reinvent yourself.
To be confident. I mean, I definitely feel like I got that advice, but I don't think that until I started my career and had mentors that it really stuck with me.
You're going to love HR. We are the good guys, not the bad guys like I thought. Learn as much as you can, soak it all in, and have fun with it.
If you could go back in time and find a young Alicia and give her some advice that you wish you had earlier in your career, what would that advice be?
When there was a time, you should have put family first because you can't get the time back. You feel responsible. You feel responsible not just for your family, but for your organizations. And I think when you work in jobs that touch other people, you start to feel that same level of responsibility.
What do you think is the most important skill for an HR person to have over the next decade?
I think you have to think outside of the box for HR. Nothing is going to be planted inside of the world of perfection. We have to be creative in our approach with every single situation.
I would say inclusion, communication, bringing people in, just making sure that we are those people for people.
Don't take everything so personal. Just relax, learn from it, and be open.
To always be open to learning. You're not just doing it for your company, you're doing it for yourself.
Over the next chapter, what do you think is going to be most critical for the HR pro?
Being able to adapt. Being able to evolve and change as times change.
I think embrace uncertainty.
Being vulnerable and understanding that we are working with just a different generation.
I think it's imperative to learn collaboration and working together.
Ask more questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions and then use the information and apply it.
What do you think is the most important skill for a human resource professional to have over the next decade?
I think recruiting and retention is the biggest key factors right now.
I think that we need to slow down and value the simple moments, the simple things, and in there you're going to be able to go back to basics and find stones of learnings.
I think to be a successful HR professional, you need to be firstly adaptable and then resilient to be able to cope with change.
Communication. I mean, you have to learn how to communicate not only with your team, but outside of your team.
Critical thinking.
Adaptability, because HR is ever changing and you can't be stuck in personnel like we used to be. We have to be forward thinking.
Over the next decade, what do you think is the most important skill for a human resource professional to have?
I think DEI. I know for my company personally, as we're growing, I think diversity is critical in organizations today.
Emotional intelligence, definitely, right? So especially being leaders, you have to be able to truly connect with your employees and understand human emotions and to be able to help them lead.
Patience. And you have to be a people person. You have to love people.
A lot of patience and a lot of coffee.
Patience and coffee. We'll see you next time.